The gunshot cracked through the private dining room before anyone saw the weapon. Glass shattered from the ceiling chandelier and rained down over the table where Kim Hae-jin, head of the Black Lotus Syndicate, was eating with both his wives. His Korean wife, Soo-min, screamed and ducked. His black wife, Amina, didn't flinch. She just reached across the table, grabbed the carving knife, and stood between Hae-jin and the doorway where 3 masked men were pushing inside. "Down," Amina said, not to the men, to Hae-jin. He obeyed. That was the first thing Soo-min noticed. The most feared man in Seoul just listened to the foreign woman without hesitation. The second thing she noticed was that Amina's hand didn't shake around the knife. Hae-jin rolled from his chair and pulled a pistol from his ankle holster in one motion. 2 shots, 2 bodies. The third man turned to run. Amina was faster. She threw the knife. It struck the man's thigh and he crashed into the wall, howling. Silence came back, except for Soo-min's breathing and the drip of blood from the chandelier. "Are you hurt?" Hae-jin asked, but he was looking only at Amina. His eyes scanned her from her braided hair to her shoes. His hands were already on her arms, checking. "I'm fine," Amina said. "Check her." Hae-jin didn't. He pulled Amina into his chest and exhaled like he'd been underwater. "I told you not to come to these dinners. It's not safe." "I'm your wife," Amina said. "I eat where you eat." Soo-min stood slowly. Her hanbok was spotted with wine and glass. Her voice was ice. "You didn't even look at me. I could be bleeding." "You're standing," Hae-jin said, not turning to her. "That means you're not bleeding enough to matter." The words hit Soo-min harder than the gunshot. She'd been his wife for 12 years. She'd given him 2 sons. She learned every rule of the mafia wives: stay quiet, look perfect, never embarrass the name. Amina had been in his life for 3 years and broke every rule, and he loved her for it. "Clean this," Hae-jin told the guards who flooded the room, "and find out who sent them. I want names before sunrise." Then he guided Amina out with his hand on the small of her back. He never touched Soo-min. In the car, Amina finally let her body shake. Adrenaline left her all at once. Hae-jin noticed and pulled her head to his shoulder. "You don't have to be brave for me," he murmured in English. It was their language. He refused to speak Korean to her. He said Korean was for business and blood. English was for them. "You can fall apart, I'll hold it." "I'm not falling apart," Amina whispered. "I'm angry. They came while we were eating. That's disrespect." "That's why they'll die slow," he said. At the compound, Soo-min was already waiting in the main hall. Her mother, the elders, and Hae-jin's 2 sons stood behind her. The boys were 14 and 11. They had their father's eyes, but their mother's cold mouth. "We need to talk," Soo-min said, "about her." Hae-jin walked past her without a word and led Amina toward the West Wing. The West Wing was his. Soo-min's was the East. The message was clear to everyone watching. "Hae-jin," Soo-min's voice cracked, "you will not humiliate me in my own house." He stopped, turned. "This is my house. You live here because I allow it. She lives here because I would burn the city if she didn't." The elders gasped. One of them, Old Man Park, stepped forward. "Boss, with respect, the Black Lotus has rules. A man may have comfort women, but his first wife is his face. You're making us lose face." "Then stop looking at my face," Hae-jin said. "Look at my gun instead. Which one do you think cares about your rules?" "You chose her over your blood," Soo-min said. Tears didn't fall. She wouldn't give Amina that. "Your sons are watching you choose a foreigner over their mother." Hae-jin looked at his sons. "Min-ho, Yi-suk, come here." The boys walked to him. He knelt so he was eye level. "Do you know why men tried to kill me tonight?" They shook their heads. "Because I'm powerful, and power makes enemies. Your mother wants you to think I chose Amina over you. That's a lie. I chose Amina over death. 3 years ago, when the Incheon docks were bleeding and my own men turned on me, your mother locked the doors and prayed. Amina walked through the gunfire and pulled me out. She was pregnant. She lost the baby saving me." Soo-min's face drained of color. She didn't know that part. "So no," Hae-jin said, standing. "I don't love her more than my Korean wife. I love her more than any wife who would watch me die for the sake of tradition." He took Amina's hand and left the hall. That night, Sumin made her move. She called her brother, who ran the Busan port for the Black Lotus. "He's lost his mind," she said. "If the elders see he's weak for her, they'll split. We'll lose everything. Our sons will inherit ashes." "What do you want?" her brother asked. "I want her to disappear, not dead. If he finds a body, he'll burn Busan. Make it look like she left him, make him doubt her." In the West Wing, Amina couldn't sleep. She sat on the balcony with her feet in Hae-jin's lap. He was sharpening a blade, but his eyes were on her. "Do you regret it?" she asked. "Marrying me, it made everything harder for you." He set the blade down. "Do you know what my father said when I told him I was marrying Sumin? He said, 'Good, she's from a clean family, she'll give you clean sons, she'll never ask you to choose.' He was right about 3 things, and wrong about the last one." "What did he say about me?" "He's dead. He didn't get to say anything. But if he was alive, he'd call me a fool. Then he'd see how you look at me and he'd call me the luckiest fool in Korea." Amina laughed, but it broke in the middle. "Her boys hate me." "They don't hate you. They're afraid. Their mother tells them you'll steal their future. I'll tell them the truth tomorrow." The truth came faster than tomorrow. At 4 a.m., the compound alarms screamed. Not an attack, a fire. The east wing was burning. Hae-jin was out of bed and running before the guards reached him. Amina was right behind. The smoke was thick. Guards were evacuating staff. "Where is she?" Hae-jin shouted. "Where are my sons?" "Boys are out," a guard coughed. "Mrs. Kim is still inside, her room." Hae-jin went in. Amina grabbed his arm. "Hae-jin, no, the roof." "Stay here," he ordered. He disappeared into the smoke. Amina counted seconds. 1, 2, 10, 20. She couldn't do it. She couldn't stand there. She tore a curtain from the wall, soaked it in the fountain, and ran in after him. The heat was a monster. She stayed low, remembering what her brother, who was a firefighter, taught her. "Mrs. Kim," she screamed. "Sumin." She found her in the hallway. Sumin was trapped under a fallen beam, coughing blood. Her legs were pinned. Amina dropped next to her. "I got you. Help me lift." Sumin looked at her with shock. "You came back for me." "You're his wife," Amina said. "That makes you mine to protect too." Together they heaved. The beam moved an inch, not enough. The smoke was getting blacker. Amina could hear the roof creak. Then Hae-jin was there. He didn't say anything. He just put his shoulder under the beam and roared. It lifted. Amina pulled Sumin free. Hae-jin picked Sumin up like she weighed nothing and ran. Amina followed. They burst through the front doors as the east wing collapsed behind them. In the courtyard, medics swarmed. Sumin was conscious but burned. She grabbed Hae-jin's shirt. "Why?" she whispered. "Why did you come for me?" "Because you're the mother of my sons," he said. Then he looked at Amina, who was on her knees coughing. He went to her first. He put his hands on her face. "You ran in. I told you to stay." "I'm your wife," Amina said again, like it was the only law she knew. "I go where you go." Sumin watched him choose again, but this time it didn't feel like losing. It felt like seeing the truth for the first time. He didn't love Amina more because Sumin was Korean. He loved Amina more because Amina ran into fire. The police called it an electrical fire. Hae-jin knew better. 2 days later, his men dragged Sumin's brother into the basement. The brother was bloody and missing teeth. "Talk," Hae-jin said. "She told me to do it," the brother spat. "She said to make the foreigner disappear. I thought if I burned her room." "You burned my wife's room," Hae-jin said. He looked at Sumin, who was standing there in bandages. "Your brother tried to kill Amina. What should I do?" Sumin looked at Amina. Amina hadn't said a word. She wasn't asking for blood. She was just standing there, waiting to see who Hae-jin was. "Tell me," Sumin said to Amina. "If it was me who ran into the fire for you, if it was me who pulled you out, would you ask him to spare my brother?" Amina thought about it. "Yes," she said, "because I'm not you and I'm not him. I don't want to be the reason someone dies. I've been that reason enough." Sumin turned to Hae-jin. "Don't kill him, exile him, strip him, but let him live. I don't want my sons to see their father kill their uncle. They've seen enough." Jin studied both women. Then he nodded to his men. Cut his hand off, the one that lit the match, then put him on a boat. If he comes back to Korea, he dies. The brothers screamed. The elders who watched said nothing. The rule had been clear for decades: betray the boss, die. Jin broke it for Soo-min. That night, Soo-min came to the west wing. Amina opened the door. I didn't come to fight, Soo-min said. I came to say thank you, and I'm sorry. For what? Amina asked. For hatting you before I knew you. For thinking you stole him. You didn't. You earned him, I forgot how. Amina stepped aside. Do you want tea? They drank tea at 2 a.m. while Jin worked. They talked about the boys, about Korea, about how lonely it was to be married to a man who belonged to the streets first. I don't want to be your enemy, Soo-min said. I don't think I can be your friend, but I can be your partner for the boys. That's enough, Amina said. The war came a month later. The Busan faction, angry about the brothers' exile, joined with the Incheon crew. They said Jin was weak, that a boss who loved a foreigner couldn't lead Koreans. They came for the compound at dawn. Jin was ready, but he was outnumbered, 3-1. He put Soo-min and the boys in the panic room. Stay down, he told his sons, no matter what you hear. What about her? Minho asked, pointing at Amina, who was loading magazines. She's not staying down, Jin said. She's staying with me. The fight was brutal, bullets and blades. The main hall turned red. Jin and Amina fought back to back like they'd trained. She was faster. He was stronger. Together they were a war. Soo-min didn't stay down. She heard her sons crying. She heard the men getting closer. She opened the panic room and crept out. She found a dropped pistol. She'd never shot a gun, but she'd been a mafia wife for 12 years. She'd watched. She found 2 men about to enter the west wing where Jin was. She shot them, both. Her hands shook, but her aim didn't. After, when the last enemy fell, Jin stood in the blood. He was cut. Amina was bleeding from her arm. Soo-min stood in the doorway with the pistol. He walked to Soo-min first. He took the gun from her hand. You shot them. I did, she said. For my sons, for you, for her. He nodded. Then he pulled her into a hug, the first in years. She froze, then melted. Then he went to Amina. He dropped to his knees and pressed his forehead to her stomach. You're hurt. I'm alive, she said. We're all alive. The elders met a week later. Old Man Park spoke. The Busan faction is gone. The Incheon crew is yours. The Black Lotus is stronger than ever. Because of you, both of you. He looked at Soo-min. And you. Jin stood. I'm going to say this once. I have 2 wives. I don't love one more because of her country. I love Amina because she runs into fire. I respect Soo-min because she learned to shoot to protect my sons. If any of you think that makes me weak, say it now. I'll make you strong enough to meet your ancestors. No one spoke. Years later, when Minho was 20 and took his father's seat, he told the story at his inauguration. My father loved my mother, he respected my mother, but he would have died for his second wife, and she would have died for him, and my mother would have died for all of us. That's why the Black Lotus lives, not because of blood, because of choice. Amina sat in the front row, her hair gray now. Soo-min sat next to her. They didn't hold hands, they didn't need to. The story isn't about who he loved more. The story is about who he became when he stopped having to choose. If this held you to the last line, do me a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter of The Black Lotus, and comment, loyalty, if you think love is proven in fire, not words. Your support decides who lives in the next story.